So on Monday, members affiliated to SATAU are going to join striking United National Transport Union workers. This after both unions turned down Transnet's offer of a wage increase of between 3 and 4%. To discuss the story and what's expected this week, Transnet Spokesperson Ayanda Shezi joins me. Welcome to the program. Ayanda, this is a strike the country cannot afford for its freight and train drivers, its security personnel and a number of other personnel not to be at work. As you weigh the impending cost to the economy and this chasm between yourself as the employer and the unions, is there the possibility you might bring a last-minute revised offer to the table?
Good afternoon, Iman, and to your viewers. As you may know, tomorrow we're at the CCMA, tomorrow afternoon, with our unions to hopefully get a resolution to the current impasse in the wage negotiations. On our side, there's very limited room to move. Since the beginning of the negotiations, we have revised and improved our offer about 4 times, taking into account issues of affordability and sustainability for the company, and as well very mindful of the rising cost pressures that our employees, like all South Africans, are facing given the current economic conditions. Our biggest challenge, Iman, is the fact that our salary bill is currently sitting at 66% of total operating costs. This is neither sustainable nor desirable, and we would like to contain this as much as possible because having it rise any further means that we are unable to fund other costs, which include other running costs, which include the rising fuel costs, which we are faced with as a business, as well as the rising maintenance costs.
I don't immediately have the numbers in front of me, but one of the criticisms given by SATAU, we spoke to them yesterday, was executive pay as being an area for Transnet, giving Transnet room to maneuver. What do you say on that?
That is incorrect. Management have not had any salary increases over the last 4 years. And in fact, Transnet employees have had above inflation increases since 2011. So for the past 11 years, we've seen above inflation wage increases, which is really not sustainable for the business. This is the first time this year where the offer does include management, which is why we have such limited room to move.
So given the strong rejection by SATAU of the 3% and the 1% lump sum payment, together with your position now, we are in for a very damaging strike, one that the most vulnerable businesses may not survive. Already, people like berry exporters are sounding the alarm. Their 3 billion export business is under threat. What is your position on the impact to livelihoods?
We met with the CEO of Berry South Africa yesterday evening. We are meeting with our customers individually and collectively and looking at ways in which we can mitigate the impact of the strike. With the limited resources that we have at hand, we're looking at how we can prioritize essential cargo that we can move effectively and efficiently given the current circumstances.
Where are you, Ayanda, expecting some of the biggest adverse impacts to be? I mean, we understand the declaration of a force majeure at some of the country's ports. Just give us a sense of what your impact, your operational impact assessment is telling you tonight.
Look, it differs from operation to operation and shift by shift. It's something that we are monitoring on a continual basis and are then putting in place measures as and when we go to mitigate the impact. At this point, it's difficult to tell how many people will be out of operation. We will only have a sense of that when the morning shift starts tomorrow.
But you must have, some projections around where you would need to put in contingency manpower or make contingency plans.
Look, Durban as our biggest port, that is a priority. Cape Town as well, that is where we're putting in a lot of contingency measures.
Can you give us a sense of what those measures are?
Redeploying resources, ensuring that, for example, in our marine operations, we have people who will be working because they're at management level and so will not be able to strike. So we will be able to bring in vessels, berth them and bring in capacity to ensure that we can offload as efficiently as we can, given the circumstances.
The unions, the SABC has spoken to say the strike is legal, it's protected. One of the matters that will be discussed at the CCMA tomorrow is around picketing rules. From your perspective, is the strike legal and protected?
There's unfortunately been a misinterpretation of the decision by the court on Friday. The judge did not pronounce on the merits of the case that we brought forward, only on the urgency of the matter. It's unfortunate that she didn't see a potential strike as an emergency, but it is what it is. In our view, because we have not discussed the picketing rules, because of the defective notice period that has been given, we still view the strike as unprotected and illegal.
So what are your expectations then from the meeting with the CCMA? You touched on that a little bit in your opening, but just share a little bit more about what you're hoping for. I mean, can a rabbit be pulled from the bag tomorrow?
We are hopeful. We are really hoping that the CCMA can help us to find each other. As nobody wins in a strike, Iman, not the workers, not the company, and certainly not the economy. And so we are hopeful that the commissioners will assist us to find each other so that we can resolve this. We have huge challenges as a business, and we would like to put this behind us so that we can focus on improving our operations.
So 21 members or 21,000 workers, we understand, will be on strike from tomorrow. That's the message that we got. You're hopeful that maybe a crisis can be averted. So just give us a sense of the timeline of expectation tomorrow.
I'm not sure I understand the question.
In terms of, well, we were given the understanding that the strike will kick off tomorrow. That's what we heard from the unions. We're talking about a meeting with the CCMA. You know, what's coming first? What is the timeline of engagement looking like tomorrow?
Look, any strike that happens before the CCMA engagement will be considered unprotected in our view. So we are sitting with the CCMA tomorrow afternoon, and at this stage it's difficult to predict how those talks will go, but we remain hopeful that the CCMA can assist us to close on this.
Ayanda Shezi, imagine you're sitting across the boardroom table from the unions tonight. What would be your message?
We really appeal to our unions and to our employees to accept the offer. It's been made in good faith. We believe it's reasonable and fair, particularly given the operational and financial challenges that the business is faced with at the moment.
That was Transnet Spokesperson Ayanda Shezi. Thank you very much for your time tonight. A lot depends then on that meeting with the CCMA tomorrow.